So today I want to talk about the topic of limitations and where we get these limitations from, how we process them, how we move forward in knocking them down. Where do they come from? How do they start? How do we move forward? How do we recognize them? Whether it be limitations placed on us from other people or limitations placed on ourselves from ourselves, from our inner fear, inner doubt, inner trauma. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and dive into it. Might as well not take long and beat around the bush. Let's just get to the point. So I was listening to my audiobook, Think and Grow Rich, because I'm in the mindset and I'm in the state of wanting to grow, wanting to develop, wanting to get better for myself, but ultimately for my child and children to come, wanting to get better for my siblings, my mother, my partner, just all around, but mostly for myself, in order to go in life and operate and walk around and just be my best self. Just walk around confident, feeling confident. Like, who doesn't want to feel like it's me? Like, I'm her or I'm him. Like, it's me, like in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the ultimate confidence. No like swaying, no need to persuade yourself, no need to repeat it to yourself. It's just a feeling that I want to have when I walk around. And I know that I've had that feeling previously, but somehow when life be lifing, it's just a swing of emotions and a swing of inner feelings and inner thoughts and things that actually have to be consistently developed in order for it to be there. You're not a master of something unless they say you're not a master of something unless you put in 10,000 hours. So I am starting my 10,000 hour mastery journey with, self-love, self-care, self-appreciation, confidence, trusting in myself, walking in faith and knowing that if I say it, I can do it. Believing in myself and my abilities, believing in my higher power, believing in the universe, believing in the ancestors, doing my moon rituals, doing my morning rituals, having my altar, praying. You know what I'm saying? It's so many factors that go into me and wanting to feel balanced within myself, within the universe, within my higher power, within, my family, and within just my mind in general. So it's just a lot going on. So with everything going on, it tends to be like cracks and crevices where doubt can seep in, cracks and crevices where the trauma can come up, cracks and crevices where pain, hurt, neglect, unforgiving, not healing, not having the closure seeps in, and it can consume you. And I'm no expert by any means, but that, I believe, is like the beginning works or some of the elements of depression. Can I diagnose myself as being depressed? I have no clue. But were there some days where my negative thoughts consumed me? Yes. And now with me wanting to get out of that, now with me like being in a place where I have the only option I recognize is getting out of this. The only option that I have is growing from this. The only option that I have is healing from this. The only option that I have is correcting my mindset and being positive and believing in myself and trusting in my abilities and having the faith and keeping the faith even through the fucking storm. You know what I'm saying? Keeping the faith. And it's so hard to keep faith when you're going through a storm, because your first mind is, fuck, this shit is not going to work out. Not, oh, it's the storm coming to teach me something to where I can fine tune my skills to where I'm supposed to learn this valuable lessons and all of the, you know what I'm saying? Your first thought is, abort fucking mission. I cannot do this shit. Instead, I'm training my mind to think and to know and to believe and to truly believe. It's one thing to believe, but it's another thing to truly believe and say, I am learning something here. I am developing a skill here. This is necessary for my growth. In order for me to get to the next stage of life, in order for me to get to the next step in life, I have to go through this in order to appreciate what's coming next. Do you see the stark contrast between I cannot do this shit and no, this is teaching me something in order to get to the other side of this, which is where I need to be, which is where I want to be, but I have to get through this first. It's making me stronger. It's making me better. I'm fine-tuning my skills. I'm getting more skills. I'm sharpening my tools. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the mindset. So, back to the topic at hand of limitations. So, I believe for me personally, limitations were brought on me from myself. You know, probably for you or for others, I have no clue. You know, I'm actually sitting here talking to the camera, but I'm talking to you. And if you feel this, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, a family member, anyone who you feel that you might need to hear this. But your limitations might be placed on you by your family, friends, teachers, co-workers, bosses, supervisors, employees. You see how I'm going down? And if you can't see me, I'm just continuously going down with all the elements just putting pressure on me, just putting doubt on me. And it's hard to get back up when you feel like you have all that weight on yourself. There's no way for you to get up, especially if you weren't taught the tools, or if you don't know the tools, if you don't know the ways to dig yourself out of that hole. However, for me, I feel like the limitations were placed on myself by myself. You know what I'm saying? I went through a period in 2021, which is like during COVID, of hosting pop-up shops in Sacramento, co-hosting pop-up shops in Sacramento. You know, putting it together, having tables, finding an event space, getting different businesses to come out and collectively to one area, and having people show up and getting the word out and promoting it, and, you know, doing all the works. And I was super successful. Then I was going to Vegas, LA, doing other pop-up shops to the Bay Area with one of my old close friends, which is a whole nother episode. Doing that, feeling super successful, being a mom, being a partner, we got our own place, our first place at the time, paying the bills there, making sure that's good. My guy's working, our child's taken care of. You know, just feeling like that was our peak of success. Like, if I could go back to a time where I felt successful, it would be during that time for the year of 2021. Then things took a turn when I had to go back to school that following September. And with me just like stopping the pop-up shops, stop hosting them, and just going to school, money wasn't really flowing in on my end like that. My son is now becoming, I hate to say, a burden in a way, because he wasn't in after school program, preschool, anything like that. So in between me taking my online classes, caring for him, needed to be in school, making sure he eats, wanted to focus on now myself, making sure he's okay, making sure he's good, making sure he's stimulated, making sure he's learning something, making sure he's reading the book, making sure he's you know, occupied. It was just the wavering thing. And then it's like the pressure of once being successful. Just a couple months before, I was just so like collapsed and consumed in myself. It was mad crazy. So I believe the limitations I put on myself were from myself, and I'm currently using, because I'm currently digging myself out of this hole of just like self-limitations, and just like the thoughts that I placed on myself are reading, meditation, guided meditation. I do not feel strong enough to just sit and meditate on my own. I love a good guided meditation, because it's like, okay, focus on your heart, focus on your breathing, focus on how your body's responding. Okay, what are you thinking about? Why are you thinking about this? Or let's think about this. What does this say? You know, I love a good guided meditation. I'm getting baby stepping into yoga. I may do yoga for like 5 minutes a day, or 5 minutes every other day. Probably the same repetitive positions, or I might, you know, try something new, like, oh, that's stretching a new muscle. Reading, or I should say listening to audiobooks. I have the physical book, but I listen to it, and that really does help. It really does stimulate the mind, and I have something else to think about. What else do I do? I'm doing these these podcasts and this video diary in a sense, which is actually pretty helping, because I'm able to talk about it. I'm able to find my community of people who relate, whether it be men or women, transgenders, bisexual, just people, just fucking human beings. No matter what you do, however you want to classify, that's what you want to do. But if you can relate to me as a woman, as a person, as a bald-headed female, as a mother, as a sister, as an auntie, as this, as that, just as a person going through similar situations, feeling similar if you can relate in any kind of way, please subscribe and stay here, because I promise you, we like this, best friend. I call all of my communities best friend because we best friends. We get real personal here, and I want to have open dialogue and conversation with you all. But that's how I've been getting through my own limiting thoughts, and I can say some days are better than others, but every single day, I know that I'm like correcting my mindset, I'm correcting my thoughts, I'm correcting my words, I'm going with a different intent. And when I say correcting my mind, whenever I go off on a tangent of fear, which is like false reality appearing real, or false events appearing real. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, I love that, because it was false events appearing real. Because most of the time, we think of a situation that's not gonna fucking happen. You gotta, whenever you start thinking of scenarios or situations from the past, sometimes we dramatize the past and we want to rework a situation, and it could have went this way, or I should have said this would have been more cutting, and this would have got him right where I wanted to get him and hit him, and thinking about stuff that's not going to happen. Stop. What am I doing right now? I'm thinking about shit that doesn't matter. What could I be thinking about? What should I be thinking about? Matter of fact, let me think about dinner. Matter of fact, let me think about how good I look. Matter of fact, let me think about this business that I have. Matter of fact, let me think of a plan. Matter of fact, let me write a letter to myself forgiving what can I be doing more so in the present, instead of thinking about things that occurred in the past, or thinking about things that most likely will not occur. So I kind of want to go ahead and end it here. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're listening, and if you're feeling this, please like the podcast, follow the podcast, share the podcast with anybody and everybody who you feel might need to hear this, who you think might gain something out of this. My purpose of this podcast is to inspire, to encourage, to have an open form of dialogue with you all. And so I really appreciate it when you guys do like, and you do comment, and you do subscribe, because that fills me up in a way, and it lets me know that what I'm putting out, I'm able to get back. What I'm putting out is actually touching and reaching and affecting others. So please, let me end it out like I just said. Thank you for listening to Mother Talks, the podcast, if you are listening audibly. Thank you for watching Life with Mother episode, where we just sit down and talk. Sometimes we have sit down talk segments, other times it will be vlogs, mukbangs, and everything of the sorts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What else? I do appreciate you for being here. I value your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right.